click this button and say, yo, what up? How's it going, everybody? Today, UVS Games has gifted me with all of the cards from inside of the Lower Decks Sam Rutherford Challenger Series deck. So what we're gonna do is we're going to go through card by card, and I'm gonna talk about them. I'm gonna show you the cards and which ones that I like and I don't like, and reminisce about the show and all that jazz. With that said, before we jump into it, I do want to point out that UVS Games did send me all of these cards, and so there's a take that with a grain of salt as we take and we look at the cards and figure out if you're gonna buy them or not. All right, so with that said, let's rock it. Star Trek Lower Decks, Sam Rutherford. I like Sam. I think Sam's a really cool character. I think Sam from the show. I think he's a really cool character. I think he's neat. I think he's interesting. I like what they've done with him in the show. He started as like that. I didn't like him, and then I really grew to enjoy his personification as a character. So without further ado, let's jump into Sam himself. Sam Rutherford, resourceful engineer. It's a 630. Love this how stylized the hand size and the health symbols are. You can still obviously tell what they are, but like it's great. He's an instant. He's an inventor. He says response after a non-throw attack is played, switch its speed and damage, and then enhance this deck gets +1 speed, +1 or -1 speed or damage. So if you wanted to hit a little harder, you can hit harder. If you wanted to hit a little softer, you can hit softer. If you want to be a little faster, you make it faster. If you want to be a little slower, make it slower. All in all, like, resourceful is truly just the name of the game. I think being able to like switch the speed and damage of the moves and plus and minus, I think this guy is fine. I don't think he's anything to go crazy about. I do think that this character can be annoying in the form of you don't actually know the attack will always be shaped in the advantage of Sam. Of if I have a very fast move that I want to make hit, but it's low damage, low impact, but I just need to make it hit, Sam's just going to swap it and then block it because of the swap it and then reduce it by an extra. It's very, very, very cool. I'm excited to give this character a shot. From there, we have Sam Rutherford, Devron Racer. Whoa, he looks so cool. 721 inventor. He's got different symbols. Actually, let's go back over the symbols. We've got Order Void Water for engineer, and we've got Air Order Void for Devron Racer. 721, also an inventor. Your tech attacks get +2 speed, period. Just every tech attack gets +2 speed. And then enhance once per turn into this enhanced step. It's over. Kill it. Essentially flash and attack. My turn, my attack, your attack, it's flash. And then first form, so the very first thing that you do on your turn, if your rival has 8 or more ready foundations, draw a card, your rival commits 1 foundation. So put them down to 7 readied resources, and then you get to draw a card. So E to 1, very close to E to 1, very, very close to E to 1. I like this character a lot. I think this character giving just +2 speed blanketly to all of his moves is very cool. And then once per turn in this enhanced step of just like I'm gonna flash your move, I think it's a lot of weight to it. Being able to pseudo flash a move once per turn feels very, very impactful. And then like his other ability is like his at form speed. I think that this character is strong. It's very, very cool. And if they build too much in order to deal with your +2 speed, you just get to be an 8 hand size character. Oh, so good. I like Devron Racer a lot. But let's look at the cards. We've got Strange Energies. It's a 0/5 2 low block. This is an action card, so you play this one out of your hand. It doesn't sit on your stage. So response, when this card's in your hand, you put it in your card pool. After your rival plays a blitz ability or a non-character enhance ability, your rival checks against a 7. So they discard the top card of your deck, and then they can pass that check if they want. If they fail it, cancel that ability. So 2 things about it. Number 1, this is a tech card. So anything that interacts with like picking up techs or whatever, we get to mess with it there. And number 2, this card does sit in the card pool. So if you play it, it'll sit in the card pool. If you have a way to pick it back up or flip it or whatever with it, Strange Energy could be potentially reusable. With that said, it does like stick in your card pool for like, blocking math is a little harder or playing more cards is a little harder. But if you're playing this one, normally it is they're playing a really crazy move. You're just canceling it outright, or they're down to like stun 2, like they check the 5 and then they commit their 2 foundations for them to use their ability. Imagine my action saying like whenever you played your ability, stun 2. It's just like an easy way to like end their turn early or like get rid of their ability. I think this card's very, very good. I think this one's super, super strong. I'm excited to play with this one. And the next one we have is Badgie, Vengeful Pal. Before we get into anything, I want to just take a second to look at the background of this card. With all the ships in the background, this background art goes so sick. This would be such a sick pattern on like a short sleeve button-up shirt that like hipsters wear. Incredible pattern on this one. It's very, very cool. 3/5/1 mid block. Has the order attuned. Breaker 1 ally or tech. Says response after you play this card, build it. Neat. That includes on block, so I block with it and build them. And then enhance once per turn, your turn. Your attack gets +3 damage. Any player may play this ability. So if I'm attacking, I can use Badgie and swing with it. If you're attacking, you can use Badgie and give your +3. I love it. I think this is really thematic to the character of like he's helpful on your turn, and then your rival also gets to use them in order to make their moves very big. Very cool. Very, very cool. Up next, we've got the USScitos NCC 75567. It's a 6/4 with a 3 mid block. It's unique, and it has the ship keyword, which I think is very cool, especially if we bring back, we've had Cowboy Bebop in the game, so bringing back the ship keyword would be cool. Form, once per turn, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add one of them to your hand, one of them to the bottom of your deck, and one of them to the top of your deck. So, pick a card up, take a card that is not useful, put it on the bottom, and most importantly, stack your deck with a check that you want. Hey, I found an attack and 2 foundations. I think the worst foundation, put it at the bottom. I play the attack out of my hand, and I know I'm checking a 5. That's great. That's great. I think this card's super, super cool. I love that, in fact, it's got the 4 regular resource symbols and no attune symbols. I think this card is very neat, and I'm excited to see where this card finds room, because I think the #1 issue with this card, truthfully, is going to be how difficult is it to get on the board. If you can figure out how to get this card on the board with some consistency, I think this card's super, super strong. It's very, very good. Okay, we have Betraying Shove as our first attack. It's an order attack. It's 5/3, 3 mid for 6 with a 3 low block. It has throw and tech. Blitz, if this deck is not blocked, commit 1 rival foundation. So in Rutherford Resourceful Engineer, no, we cannot switch the speed and damage of it, but we do just give it an extra damage, pushing it up over the breakpoint of like, hey, this is a 7 damage move. If it gets blocked, it still deals 4. Feels great. If it doesn't get blocked, it's a 7 damage move that selectively commits one of their foundations. This card's great. This is good stats on a throw. And in Devron Racer, it's a 5 mid for 6 stun 1 throw. Great. Very cool. Next, we've got Charged Alien Sploof. It's a 4/3, 3 low for 5. It's got a 2 high block. It's order attuned. Tech. Blitz. Your rival must commit 1 foundation as an additional cost to play enhanced abilities during this attack. And then response after you play this attack, it gets 2 damage for each other tech attack in your card pool. So this is really interesting, because you can take and order timing-wise, using Resourceful Engineer, we play the move, and then respond to then swap its speed and damage. So now it is a 5 low for 3, and then respond after you play it, it gets the damage. So it starts as a 5 low for whatever, and then use Rutherford to give it either the extra speed or the extra damage that it needs. Love it. Very cool UR, very cool kill card, and at the very least, you ready? It's a 5 low for 5 in a Devron Racer. That you can just like respond, give it the stats, and then be done with it. And then just boop, it's over. Great. Great, great, great. Very cool. Very awesome. Up next, we've got Cyborg Slap. It's a 3/3, 2 low for 4, EX3 tech. Enhance hand, so while it's in your hand, you can use its ability to discard it. This deck gets +2 or -2 damage. Very good for Resourceful Engineer, who is giving +1 or -1 damage depending. This also has EX3, a great use for your momentum. And I think thematically, it having a hand enhance is so clever because of, you know, what's happening with the Cyborg Slap. I'm using it from it. Cute. Very cute. Delta Flyby. 5/3, 3 mid for 7 with a 1 mid block. It's got the void symbol. EX2 and tech. Yeah, this card's just either super fast if we're on Resourceful Engineer, or super fast if we're on Devron Racer. It's a 5 mid for 7 EX2, or it could be a 4 mid for 7 with Engineer, or you could swap it with Engineer and say it's a 7 mid for 4. Hey, I really need this thing to hit you. It's a 7 speed move. It's an 8 for 3 catch. I dig it. I think that's kind of dope. Okay, Netflix. Netflix. Neelix. I saw that. Everybody else read Netflix too. One's in chat if you read Netflix. I read Netflix. Neelix Cheese. It's a 4/3, 3 high for 5 with a 1 mid block, powerful 2, tech, and weapon are its keywords. Blitz, draw a card, discard 1 card. You may change this attack's damage to match the printed damage of the discarded card. Hey, it's a 7 damage move now. This feels kind of cool whenever you... So you do responses first, right? So you respond with a Resourceful Engineer and swap it. So now it's a 5 high for 3. And then respond and discard something like Delta Flyby to make it a 5 high for 7 on a 4 diff with powerful 2. You don't get to change the order of it, right? You don't get to blitz and then respond with Resourceful Engineer. But I think as a random uncommon, I think this card's very cool. I think this was neat. Got a good momentum out. Yeah, these two cards working in tandem together is pretty neat. We'll move on to Okie Dokie. This is not the picture I would expect on Okie Dokie. 4/3, 3 high for 5 with a 2 high block. Frenzy, tech. This has 2 blitzes on it. Because Frenzy is a blitz. You can tell because it's pink. It says blitz, draw a card, discard a card. If the discarded, this attack gains 1 keyword from the discarded card. So we've got like things like powerful 2. We've got EX2. We've got EX3. We've got throw. We can just give this thing throw. It's pretty good. And then this deck gets a speed and a damage for each attack blocked this turn. Whoa, Frenzy's kind of nuts. This deck gets a speed and 1 speed and 1 damage for each attack blocked this turn. So the later you play this card, the stronger it is if my rival's like interacting with the things that I'm doing. Sometimes it's get like +3/+3. And it gets a keyword that you want. So +3/+3, let's give it throw. Seems okay. Up next we got Virus Upload. Frenzy feel like he'd be great in a deck that cares about combo. I agree. Blame Siren, I agree. Virus Upload, 5/3, 1 low block. It's a 2 low for 6 with stun 2. Tacking stun 2 on this seems kind of cool. And that's what it does. It's an order card with just stun 2. Giving this 6 low for 3 in Resourceful Engineer stun 2 says that this move is for sure hitting. For sure I'm getting my stats, which means that like my powerfuls and my EXs are going to feel even better later. I dig it. We'll move on to our foundations. We have Attention to Detail. 2/5/3 low block response. After an attack is played, if its printed speed is 3 or less, it gets +1 damage. What is this? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Every card, it gets an extra damage. And you can take and respond. You can respond with these before or after Rutherford for the swap. Rutherford's swap is not once per turn, is it? No, it's just after it's played, it switches speed and damage. Whoa. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we use Attention to Detail's a 4 of in this deck for sure. You just like slam 4 of this. I think this card's going to be very good in a lot of characters. A 2/5 that just like at response speed gives it damage. They like can't interact with it. I think the 3 low block is a little rough, but everything else looks kind of cool. Dial Adjustment. 1/5, 2 mid block. It's a tech card. Enhance commit. This deck gets a -2 speed and +2 damage. What's Frenzy? Frenzy is a new Blitz ability that says this deck gets +1 speed and +1 damage for each attack blocked this turn. Dial adjustment. I think this card's fine. Obviously, it's supposed to be used after you swap. So you respond with Delta Flyby, right? You swap them. It's a 7 for 3. And then you commit the dial adjustment to make it a 5 for 5. But at that point, I mean, it's a 1 diff, right? It also could be played later in the chain. So if once they're out of they're done blocking, they're out of cards in your hand, you just like slam all these sideways and just get +2 damage. Seems a little lackluster, but I think for a common, it's probably okay. Up next, we've got Attitude Selector. 1/5, 2 high block. Love the drawings in the back. It's very cute. Response flip after you discard 1 or remove 1 card from your hand. Draw 1 card. Whoa. Whoa. So with these cards, the draw 1, discard 1, draw 1, discard 1, discard this card from your hand. This just says flip, redraw a card. That's great. That's really, really good. That's really, really good, especially for Void Attuned. Oof. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that's kind of crazy with that. Up next, we've got Don't Do This. 1/5, 2 low block. Enhance, discard a card. This deck gains stun 1. This is repeatable stun for every order character. Every order character now says I can discard a card to just give this attack stun 1. Snack Time, not quite. Snack Time also gave us speed, which I think was a big deal. And also had a crazy deadlock ability. This has neither of those. I think this card's totally fine. Discard a card, this deck gets stun 1. It's good. I think this card's great. I think the card's so good. It's good. It's a good use for the extra cards and resources you have in your hand, and it pairs well with Attitude Selector. Yeah, this is gonna be a staple, and this is the reason to buy these decks. Is just don't do this. This is one of the good ones. This one is Strange Energies. It's pretty great. It's chew time. Agreed. Up next, we've got Memory Upgrade. 1/6, 2 high block. Response flip. After Rival plays an attack, you may play the first enhance during this during its enhance step. 1/6, 2 high block. Crazy. This card used to be a 2/4. This used to be a 2/4 with a 3 high block. This is just exclusively to use Devron Racer and just make things flash attacks. This is a response flip. This is a response. This is a flash attack. Yeah, this is certainly a good one, but I think it's only going to be good inside of Devron Racer. I don't think it's going to be good pretty much anywhere else. Yeah. Up next, we've got Other Self, 3/4, 3 high block. It's unique, which means you can only have one of it on your board at a time. Enhance, remove, returns attack to its printed speed and damage. It unswaps the moves. This is just like a 1-card hard counter to what Resourceful Engineer does. Of just like, I swapped it. You just like, all right, unswap it though. That's very funny. They printed that in a in the Challenger deck. Awesome. Power Drain. 2/5, 3 mid block, enhance flip. Each player commits 1 foundation for every 5 foundations in their stage. So this is flip. If I have 5 and you have 10, I'm gonna commit 1. You're gonna commit 2. If I only have 4 and you've got 5, well then you commit 1. So flip, bonus, stun. I think if this card maybe said 4 foundations, I think I'd be a little bit more on board. 5's a lot. 5, you got to have a lot of foundations for this to be. Imagine, in order for this to go from 2 to 3, you've got to have 15 foundations in your stage, which just like doesn't normally happen. It happens, what, 1%, 2% of every of all games is you go to 15 foundations without a way to deal with it. And especially with Power Drain just like sitting on the board waiting for it, I think this one's not going to be played very, very much. But maybe in the starter decks, I'm not seeing very much foundation destruction. And so like maybe our games go a little longer in just the Challenger decks. Up next, we've got you're gonna kill me with this name. Sam's Gua Pilot? Cool pilot. 2/5, 2 low block, enhance, commit. This tech attack gets +2 damage. If your rival's not taking damage this turn, it gets +1 speed. This is fine. This is certainly a better version of the dial adjustment, but obviously it is obviously it's a 2 diff, not a 1 diff. So that makes sense. Up next, we've got redirect, power to shields, response, commit, sacrifice foundation. Hey, we found our foundation destruction. Before you would take damage from an attack, reduce the damage you would take by 3. I think this card is so cool. Redirect, power to shields is such a sick name for I'm going to be reducing the damage. It's repeatable. You're committing one to get rid of a wasted resource. I think this card's dope, especially if you've got more than one of them out. I'll just like tap, I'll commit 2, break 2, and then I don't take 6. And it's reduce the damage you would take, so it's a floating imaginary number that like is going to be hurting your life points rather than the number on the card. Because there's plenty of cards that say that like its damage can't be reduced, but I'm not reducing the damage of your move. I'm reducing the damage that I would be taking from your move, which I think is a very hard spot to interact with. Up next, and our last card we have is Shutdown. It's a 3/5, 2 high block response. Remove. After your rival plays an attack that shares a keyword with another attack in their card pool, skip this attack's enhanced step. So if you played a second or more copy of an attack, it now has flash. It's gone. How neat. How cool. What a sick way to punish people from having very tight consistent attack packages of I'm just going to play a bunch of 4X's of all of my cards and be good. That's very, very awesome. If rival shares an attack that shares a keyword with another attack in their card pool, are you playing mono techs, mono punches, mono whatever? It's over. It's over. No enhanced step. I think this card's cool. I think this card's another one of those staple cards that are just going to exist for sure. This one's neat. This one's super, super rad. And with that, that is all the previews that I have for you guys. If you are interested in picking up the Sam Rutherford Challenger deck by UniVersus, they are going to be live December 6th. I had to look at my little board. December 6th. Go check out your LGS, your local game store, if you have them. If not, you can reach out to UVS Games themselves, and they will help get you a deck themselves. So with that said, you guys, thank you much for watching the video. If you are a big Sam fan, let me know your favorite card down in the comments down below. Would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. With that said, thank you much for watching, and as always, I wish you well.